Okay, so I have my completed scene card outline here, but I'm going to show you how to build this from scratch for yourself and how to customize it, and then I'll talk through my scene cards. So this is set up with, I call them swim lanes, but they're rows on your timeline, and they act as like little folders basically, as you can see on the panel over here. And then within the timeline, you can add events. So let's start by going in. I've broken mine up by days, but I could break it up kind of any way I wanted to. I'm going to say canvas. I'm going to say add a row. There we go. It adds a row right to the bottom. You know, maybe this is an act, so I can go in and I can click set the color. I should be able to, rename it. So I could also have this be an act or a chapter or whatever I wanted. So like act 2, maybe that's what it is. Okay, so once I have my swim lane, and this is like a nice way to organize my different events, I'm going to create a new event, and I can do that just by clicking in the box here, and it'll pop one below for me, and I can drag it wherever I want to drag it. I'm gonna drag it there. So once I have a new event, if I haven't done anything, if this is my first time coming into the timeline, it looks like this. Actually, this wouldn't even be here. It looks like this. So we have the name of the event up here, and then we have a description. So this is kind of the overview tab, and you can use it however you want to. I would tend to put the scene number in here. So scene 1, maybe say the character name or the setting or something, identifying characteristic. And then in the overview, you can put, like a 1-sentence summary of what happens in the scene, or kind of an identifier to help you remember what the scene is. X character is at the grocery store, and they run into their X. I just said X there, that's why I thought about that. But that is, that's nice and basic, but the cool thing about this really comes into the panels. So I'm going to click add panel, and I think the default is it adds a text panel for me, so a text panel, it literally just looks like a text box, if, being used to Word. So I can come in, I could maybe call this my notes panel, and I could go in here and just say like, and I can resize this. I can make it really, really small. I can grab this and I can move it around. I'm just gonna move it down here. But there's a whole bunch of different kinds of panels you can add. My favorite, I think, is the list panel. So that comes up here like this. Here's a new list panel. And I'm gonna call this this is where I would create the actual scene card. So I can, let me just format this a little bit. There we go. Add a list item. And then I have the item name and a description. So I can use this for, if I wanted to create, say, the Anatomy of Story scene card, which is what I like to do, I could do, position on the character arc. And then I can go in and I can add another list item, and this is desire and opponent, plan, drive, plan, conflict, etc. ... And it can go all down. And within the panel, I have scrolling, so I can keep this where it is. I could pull it on up. Let's pull it up here, and I can scroll within the scene card right here. Other things that I can do with this, another one that I really, really like is the attributes panel. I use this one a lot. Where did it go? Come here. There we go. Here's my attributes panel. The thing that I find a little annoying about this program is just how the panels go all over the place, but it is nice that you get the flexibility of being able to drag them and move them around. So in terms of attributes, you're gonna manage attributes. There's a whole bunch of different things I can add. So event theme, event type, magnitude, event visibility, event archetype. I actually don't know what any of these are. Magnitude, maybe I could be like, this is a major scene or a minor scene. Not fully sure, but there's nothing I really want to use there. Medium, I can put in things like word count, page count, chapter number, sequence number. These are all helpful. The things I find the most useful though are here under plot structure. So they've put in a whole bunch of different popular plot structures. 15 Story Beats is actually Save the Cat. And so I can select a whole bunch of different, well, you probably only want one or two, but if I wanted to, I can select as many of these as I want, and we'll see what it looks like in a second. Utilities, aliases. There's a question mark. What does that mean? That is beyond what we're looking at here. Okay, so confirm 5 changes. Now I have this new attributes panel. I could call this story structure, for example. And each of those story structures is now here in my panel with me. Let me move my notes over and expand this so we can see them all at the same time. Perfect. And in these drop downs are the list of beats. So if this is my opening image, I could say this is the opening image. It corresponds, this scene corresponds to this beat, or this scene corresponds to the healing feminine, or this corresponds to the pay a heavy price, etc. I selected a whole bunch. I was like, what is this one? Oh, 15 curves and thematic square. I've never heard of thematic squares before. Let me know if you have. But that is super duper useful. There are a couple of other panels here as well. A stats panel. The stats, again, is really, my understanding is that it's based on what you're doing in the other tabs. So it's not something that I've looked at yet, but they also have image panels if you wanted to put in the image of the setting or the character or something like that. Tables and links to link out to other things. This is a link for only things in Campfire, so I can link it back to, I only have scenes, so I can link it back to other scenes if I wanted to. The link will be available in link panels on either of the 2 elements. So I could theoretically link together all of the scenes that are associated with a single character, or I could link together different events. I think this is just kind of helping you manage that overarching story of things. So this seems like a lot to do every single time, and I agree with you, it is, but luckily you don't have to. So let's talk about templating next. I'm going to go up to the view, and I'm going to say view manage templates. And now I think my scene card is one that I already use, but I'm going to create a new one. So we're going to say save all pages. And this is, I believe, my new template. So I can add a description. If I say overwrite page, that basically means that if I want to make a change to my template, an existing one, like whatever this new template is, if I wanted to go in and I would say, no, I want that to look like this. I'm changing the template. I want every single card using this template to be changed. I could use that overwrite save so it updates all of my cards. So then what happens is I can go to a different event. Let's click down here, this event here, and we can apply the template. So it already looks like this. This is a different template, but if I go up to manage templates and I have my new one and I say load and replace, confirm. There we go. Now I've loaded my new template. And what I can do is if I go up again back in here, I can set the template as the default. So I think it's this one here, my scene card. That is my current default template. And I can change that. I could make this one the default template if I wanted to. And what that means is that when I click event, I don't even have to go in and select it. It will just be done for me. So that was a little bit of a how-to tutorial on how I create scene cards in Campfire. If you want to dive deeper into how I then transformed these to get ready for my outline critique, I have a Substack article that goes all into that. You can see my link to the Substack in the description and in the pinned comment below. All right, so we are opening on the subscriptions and billing page on Campfire because I want to be very clear about money and transparent here that Campfire is a paid subscription. But what's very cool about it, and I just think this is awesome, is that you can pay for all of it or you can pay by module. So I went through and I experimented with a bunch of different things. I have a manuscript editor that I like right now, although maybe at some point I'll look at theirs, but I played around with these and I didn't see anything I really needed other than the timeline. So currently I pay $2 a month
for just the timeline feature. Now I think that if I decided I wanted to use more of it, it would probably make sense to cancel my plan and just buy the full thing. But I really liked that I could just choose timeline because timeline is perfect for me and kind of have at it there. And I might actually purchase the lifetime access to it because it'll end up saving me money if I'm going to have this for more than a year or so.
And that brings us to the end of the video. I would love to hear if you used Campfire or a different kind of writing software. I'm investigating looking at a new one for manuscript as well. So I'd love to hear about what you use and your experience. Maybe you outline on paper. Tell me about it in the comments. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.